What is going on out there, young world? The world is yours. Welcome to the Desire is Everything podcast. I'm one half of your host, Sam Wright, creation coach, life insurance agent, father, brother, friend to many, but most important, I'm a servant to all. I kick it to the other half of my co-host.
Yes, sir. I'm the second half of your host, Jason Wright, plumber by day, clothing brand owner by night, podcaster by weekend. No, I'm just playing. Whatever, I just like to tell people I'm an artist of life. I love to do many things. However I can, like my pop said, serve people, offer value to people. I always will do that. That's something I live by, something that is ingrained into me. So I always love doing that. To the right of me, I got my brother. Man, we was raised, Westlake,
Yes,
4th and 5th grade.
Years.
Since youngins, my brother Tavon Williamson, I just get kudos to him. He is a men's personal development coach. And so if you ever need some personal development from any of us three and you don't know who to choose, hit one of us up. We'll lead you on the right path, just depending on where you what your goals are and what you want to do. But go ahead and give the people a shout, Tavon.
Yes, sir. My name's Tavon Williamson. I'm a speaker. I want to thank to my left Jason Wright and his father, man. It's a blessing to have black men doing something like this, something positive in the world. Yeah, I'm just ready. I'm excited to get this started and have a conversation, man. We got three powerful men in here, so I'm just ready to get this started. Let's get it, man.
Let's get it. So when I go through your content, first off, I love your content. And I tell you this all the time. I love your content. But one thing I always see is that you're letting the people know who you're speaking to. So you're pretty much picking your audience, and you tell me this all the time, but you're picking your audience, and your audience is men 18 to 25 years old.
Yes, sir.
Why is that age group so important to you?
Oof, that's a good question, man. You hit it on the nail. Because I'm making content for people that I can relate to. I go through certain problems in my life, and I'm never gonna talk about something that I don't know too much about. So whenever I'm making content to people, I'm making content to people who I can say, okay, I've been through this. Let me see who I can speak to who've been through the same thing. That might not be somebody Sam's age or, a younger kid. It might be somebody 18. It might be somebody 25. Don't matter the race. Don't matter what you've been through. I feel like a lot of us, we go through different things in life, but at the same time, they're very similar, and it's very similar ways to overcome the same things that we go through. So that was a good question. That's why I choose 18 to 25, preferably men. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yes,
so what my father likes to call that is being an expert in your experience. I remember he spoke on it in one of our podcast episodes not too long ago, but I definitely agree to that because it's hard to necessarily speak on something or to get a grasp or understanding of something that you've never been through.
Exactly.
Or for people to understand something they've never been through. So I like that. Like I said, I like how you pick your age group and you let it be known. But what got you on this journey of becoming a men's personal development speaker?
Just like I said, man, just trying to relate to other people. And I know how it felt, man, before I even started any of this, any of the content, any of the posting my first video, I didn't grow up with like a strong male figure where I can ask him certain questions. So in my head, I'm thinking, how can I become the best version of myself so I can give that to somebody who doesn't have that? Because I know how that feels when you just sitting alone, you in a dark room, you feel like it, but there's people out here, you just feel like there's nobody who's going through what you're going through. And it's hard. It's hard when you're going through these challenges, when you're going through these things all alone. And that's really why I posted my first video and just speaking from the heart, speaking from things that I went through, because I know it's people out there that can really benefit. And I get it every single day. Sometimes, and I show my girl the comments that I be receiving. It's crazy how big of an impact you can make just by doing what we're doing right now.
Facts.
Just by making a video, just by posting it. You can really change somebody's life by doing that, just by speaking, just by your words. And I just fell in love with it. I've been doing it for so long. I just fell in love with just helping people and just seeing people grow and seeing myself grow in this journey, man.
How old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
So check this out, right? You're 20 years old, and just like my son. Base, how old are you, Base? 24. Base, 24 years old. To have the self-awareness to know that you were created to serve. It's a blessing,
Yes, sir.
you know, and just to hear you speak about posting your first video, reading the comments, showing your girlfriend, and I can feel how proud you are of those moments that you have the awareness that you're here to serve.
Yes, sir.
You know, so I'm very proud of you. You know,
appreciate
we've
that.
only had, you know, conversations in passing at the gym, you know, me and Deshaun working out, but it gives me goosebumps to hear another 20-year-old man, you know what his calling is, to have a sense of purpose.
Yes, sir.
That's powerful.
Yes, sir.
Because guess what? You can be out here getting high. You can be out here gun toting, selling drugs. But to know that I've been through some things in life, right? I've been through some things. And I know that someone needs to hear the things I've been through in order for me not only to impact them, but to influence them to make better decisions in life.
Yes.
And don't limit yourself to 18 to 25. It's good that you have an audience that you know that you can cater to. But what about that 40-year-old man that was making the same mistakes that you made, and he's still doing it?
Right.
You know, that's
Still
powerful
doing
to hear somebody half his age tapping into their purpose. So what do you do when he reaches out to you? No, man, I only deal with 18 to 25. No, you deal with everybody. But it's okay that you catering your message to the 18 to 25. But be ready for that 40-year-old man that might tap into you one day and say, hey, man, I heard your message, man. I'm 40 years old. I'm still doing that. I'm still doing it.
It's a lot of people still making mistakes, making
Yes,
the
sir.
same mistakes.
Facts.
Yeah.
So
I agree
what
with
would
that.
what would you say to somebody that's still making the same mistakes? Like, my
That's-
question is basically, what are some of your coaching tips? Like, how did you get out of the situations or the mistakes and how did you handle your life?
So I feel like that's a two-part question. Somebody who's still making the mistakes that they making right now, you really just gotta ask yourself, like, aren't you tired of doing the same things that you've been doing for the whole entire life, bro? If you are making a mistake and you never learn from it, you are gonna catch yourself in the same spot and you're never going to elevate and grow and change. To me, I feel like mistakes are the best thing that we can ever go through. If you never bump your head, if you never learn from your mistakes, you are not gonna learn what not to do. So sometimes, I learn from other people's mistakes. I might make mistakes and other people might make mistakes, but I learn from those things and it makes me into a better man. So what was the second part of the question?
And then what are some of, like, if somebody comes to you with, hey, this is a mistake, how do you handle that and let them know,
Like if somebody comes up to me saying they made a mistake.
Yeah, and they want to figure out, like, how to get out of it or what they should do or how they should maneuver after.
I just let people know that is normal. It's normal to make mistakes and you're human. Like a lot of us, and I was talking to Damon, y'all both know Damon, and we was telling
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Damon Hicks. He doing good in life. Just everybody has skeleton in their closets. Like we all make mistakes. We all go through things that we regret. The worst thing you can do, and I can say this to anybody who's watching, the worst thing you can do is sit here and just dwell on your mistakes. Sit here and just think about the past, things that are out of your control, because at the end of the day, things are gonna happen in your life that you cannot control, but you have to figure out ways to move forward from that. So that's what I would tell somebody. It doesn't matter what they will come up to me and say. I'll be like, bro, you have to figure this out and you gotta keep moving forward in life. That's what I would tell them.
So to help the audience out there, when he say don't dwell on your mistakes, you don't want to live with regrets. What you want to do is reflect on your mistakes, because you can't grow until you let the reflection catch up. Like I said, by me saying, okay, the past 2 weeks, I've done nothing but watch TV. I didn't make phone calls to people I know I should be reaching out to. Okay, I can't get to where I'm trying to get to by doing that. So now that I reflected, now I've let the growth catch up with me. Now I know the next 2 weeks what I need to do. Now dwelling on you just sitting there like, dang, I messed up, but you're not taking any action. So that dwelling, that turns into regret. Don't dwell, don't regret. Just reflect on it and know that you have to do better and take the action steps of doing better.
I think
Well
with
said.
that, we minimize what time actually means or how valuable time actually is. So when we sit and, like you said, dwell on our mistakes or
Soak
dwell
in it, all of that.
all that, we forget that time has already passed.
Yeah.
You can't change
Can't
the
get it
past.
back.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
But the only thing which you can change is the future and what you do now.
Right.
You can change the present and hope for better results in the future.
Because it's two things you control: attitude and effort.
Come on now.
Control attitude and effort.
Yeah.
So it be hey, I'm not messed up by I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I know to do better, so I'm trying to change my attitude about it. And now the effort, taking action steps to doing better.
So focusing back on that 18 to 25, what are some crucial steps that you had to do or that you had to change, or some crucial things that you had to change about yourself once you hit that 18 to 25 to be able to get to where you at now?
To me, I feel like, you know, a lot of my content, like I said, is relatable. But to me, I feel like certain things, people are going to go through certain things in different ways. To me, I kind of had to mature at a very fast pace.
No, for sure.
At a very fast pace. And a lot of the things that I was doing, like that I wanted to do at 18, you know, going to parties, you know, just doing the average teenager stuff, I had to be like, okay, I got bills now. I have bills to pay. I can't really go out and do the things that I used to do. So I feel like, and that's just a part of being a man, like a lot of people are males. They're not men. They're still doing what boys are doing, and they're not really ready to take on the man responsibility. And I feel like I took that on at a very young age, and certain things that I just had to stop doing, like, you know, going to parties was a major thing for me. I remember I snuck out the house. I snuck out the house when I was living with my parents, and I was like 17, about to turn 18. Snuck out the house, and I was trying to go to a party, just being reckless. Just got a new car. You know how that goes. You know, you
Ready to ride. Yeah, you ready to ride.
So I snuck out of the house, and I'm driving, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm just speeding, you know, and I crashed. I crashed the car. And the moment that I knew that I wasn't a man, who did I have to call?
Parents.
My parents.
Yes.
Like I sat there and I thought to myself, if I'm thinking I'm a man, I'm doing all of this, why do I still have to call my stepdad when I get in trouble? When things are so a lot of the things that moment when I had that accident, I just sat back and I reflected. I'm like, I can't keep doing this.
Man.
If I really want to be a man, if I really want to take on these responsibilities, I have to take on everything that comes with it. I can't just pick and choose what I feel like, oh, you know, I want to stay out late, but I don't want to pay my bills. I can't pick and choose.
Yeah,
so,
they don't go together.
they
don't go together.
They don't go together at all. So that's what I really had to do from 18 to 20, man. That's what I've been doing so far. And the beautiful thing about it is you just learn from everything. And once you learn from all the mistakes and lessons that you learn, you just mature. And that's what I've been doing for the past couple of years, man.
So how important is it to take accountability in that age range?
In that age range, I feel like for all ages, it's
for sure,
men and female, but it's accountability is a very important thing, because all of us here, when we leave this studio, when we leave this room, we are the only people who know what we need to work on. You can sit here, somebody can sit here and tell you about yourself or whatever the case is, but if you don't make it an effort to look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I need to work on these things. I need to work on getting my money up. I need to work on staying in the gym more. I need to really lock in and focus with what I'm supposed to be focusing on. You're going to stay in the same spot. You're going to stay in the same spot, and a lot of people who don't hold accountability, they love to point fingers at people. They love to point fingers at people, make excuses. They have every reason and excuse in the book why life isn't the way they want it to be. And if you have accountability, you realize that you are the only person in control of your life. So it's very important to have accountability.
You sure you ain't got that Benjamin Button disease? You sure you?
What's that? What is that? What is that? I don't know that.
That's that reverse aging disease, man. Cause you over here talking like an old man, man. You like I said, you're dropping some nuggets, man. You speaking with a lot of wisdom, and you speaking with authority. You know what I'm saying? That's those are great characteristics of a person who's ready to take on coaching and ready to help other people develop. You know, because just even the word accountability to sound throw out there. Me and him talk about that word a lot. For you to break it down in that aspect, it just lets me know that you know what a man needs to be. You know about responsibility. You know about accountability. Because like I said, people who are not accountable, it's everybody's fault but their own.
Yes.
Everybody's fault but their own. And that's an identity problem. You know, Jason said something about, can't recall exactly what he said earlier, but we're just talking about people and personal development for one thing, right? people can't outperform their self-identity. So those people that you run into that struggle with being accountable or struggle with being responsible, their self-identity is what's holding them back. They can't outperform that. So until they really say, okay, man, I know I'm not living life the right way. How can I change that? They got to start changing their mindset. And then once their mindset can change, then their habits can change.
Yes, sir.
But your self-identity is always going to be who you are. And until you tap into a higher level of thinking, you'll always hold everybody else accountable for your mistakes. You'll always be irresponsible. You can't outperform your self-identity.
Well said.
So my question is now, so like I said, still we're going to focus on this 18 to 25. But what are a couple tips or just 3 things? So I feel like accountability would be up there.
Okay.
One of the 3 things that you need to focus on, especially in that age range, to get to the future, what you want to do in the future. What are 2 other things that you would put on there? Or even if accountability isn't in your top 3, what are 3 things that you would put in there and why?
As far as what 3 things about what, like what every man needs.
Yeah, or in that
age
18,
range?
in that age range to be able to get to what they want to accomplish in the future.
Number 1 is definitely accountability. Like both of y'all have, and this is a great reason why I love Jason and I love to have him as a friend, because as a man, if you want to get to where you want to be, you have to have ambition. You have to have that. So I feel like, especially when you're young, so the 18 to 25, the best thing that you can have at that age is ambition. If you have ambition, it doesn't matter. You are going to get to where you want to be no matter what. If you don't have the right guidance, you're going to figure it out. If you don't know where you're going, you're going to figure out how to get there because you want it bad. And you guys, the brand Desire, I love that because you desire it. If you don't desire nothing in your life, well, what are you doing? You don't desire anything. You don't want to get to the next level in life. You don't want to achieve new things. You don't want to, you just don't want to grow. That's what I feel like desire means. And that I feel like ambition, you're always going to have that as a man. You're always going to have that hunger to want more and that just burning fire inside of you to achieve things. Everybody wants to achieve things in this life. And when you're not achieving things, that's when, you start going into other things. But accountability, ambition, and it's a ton of other things that I can add to this. But the last thing I would say is consistency. Like you need consistency in anything that you do in life. A lot of people get into things and they're not seeing it. It makes me really upset and irritated because they think everything is just going to come to them fast. And you need to be in something long enough you might be doing something for years and you're only going to see an inch of progress. That sucks. When you putting in, I've been in situations where I'm putting in work. Nobody else is working as hard as me. And I'm on YouTube right now, I'll post a video, it might get 1,000 views. Somebody who ain't even been on YouTube for 3 years, they post a video, it gets 1 million. But you can't really be looking at that. You can't be really comparing yourself to other people, but you just got to stay consistent. And you have to know, like, all of these days are going to add up. It's crazy because you won't even notice it. Like one day it might be a Friday. What you did 2 months ago is going to show up on that Friday just by the little steps that you took to get to that Friday. And it's crazy. So many situations I'll be like, man, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be in this place right now. And I'm thankful for that because you have to know the process and you have to know what comes with it, the ups and downs. And I made a video about this consistency. A lot of people, they aren't consistent because they feel like it's going to be easy. They feel like they're going to get into something, and when it's not going their way, they just quit. When you know that something is going to be hard, you're going to be like, okay, you're going to plan. You're going to be like, okay, how can I plan around the hard things in life? How am I going to plan to, overcome these challenges? And I'll say accountability, ambition, and consistency. If you have those 3 things, you're going to go far in life. That's the most important.
That's a fire top 3.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
That's a fire 3.
Yes.
Shoot, I was gonna say something, but I think it has something to do with consistency. But shoot, I forgot what it was. Dang,
Let's talk about this. You said earlier about having positive role male role models in your life. Why do you think you didn't have that growing up?
Man, so I never met my real father. Never met him. And I had a stepdad, and this is not to shut him down. It's just, as a man, sometimes you're not taught certain things to teach your son. And I feel like as my stepdad, he should have taught me a lot more. I had to learn a lot of things on my own, but I just didn't have, what I am now. Somebody teaching me things that I need to learn it's not a if, it's not a maybe. You need to learn these things as a man. And I just didn't have that. And I don't know my father, and that's one of the biggest reasons, because sometimes I sit alone and that pushes me to go harder, because I know somebody might be in that same situation. Like I said, they might not have somebody to talk to. They might not have somebody strong to look up to. But you, as a father, you know how important that is.
Extremely.
Like, you a father, you want your son to look up to you in everything that you do. And you want to be a good role model. You want to do things and achieve things and pass that on to your son. And, I always try to look at things in a positive, aspect, because if I don't, that would just drag me down.
Man.
I look at not having a father, and I talked to my girl about this. I look at that as a good thing, because it started my own legacy.
Come on, man.
Man, it started my own. It's nothing getting passed down. It's nothing getting, it's just me starting my legacy, me starting my family, and everything that I was taught, all the good things I can apply to my family, and all the bad things I won't apply to it. So I love it. I love the negative things in life, and I love the positive things in life.
Can't have one without the other.
It's a balance.
It's a balance.
It's a balance.
Man, you know what's so crazy? Like I said, with me being double the age of everybody in here, the things I've seen in my lifetime, right? First of all, my father, great father. My mother, great mother. I couldn't ask for two better parents. The men in my family all were hustlers or players of some type, but they were all present. Regardless of what it looked like, they were all present, right? So it was instilled in me to be a good father, right? I didn't agree with everything my father did growing up, so I wanted to be the better version of him, right? So I married my kid's mother at when Jason was 3 years old? I think Jason was 3. 4. Jason was 4 years old. His sister was 7 or 8 at the time. She's not biologically mine, but she's always been my daughter. Since the first day I laid eyes on her, she was my daughter, right? So when you talk about your stepfather not being the man you need to be, it wasn't meant for him to be. It just wasn't, because we don't have this version of Tavon today.
Right.
If he is the father you need to be, now, and that's not saying that you would have been a worse version of yourself, but we don't have this version. If he was who he should have been, he was exactly who he was supposed to be in order for you to be here today. So, like I said, when I see fathers who either don't know how to father or aren't present, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart, because there's no way you could keep me from my kids. Was I the best father? No. Make plenty of mistakes. I'm gonna make plenty more. But I was present with their mother. We both laid a foundation for our children. We both let our children express themselves. We both were supportive of our children. And we made sure our children were around the right people. So you have this version of the sign that's in front of you. Yes. You have my daughter who's about to finish up with her master's. You have an 11-year-old honor roll student who's the clown of the family, but in a good way, because they had two parents who knew that being present, showing them love, and putting them around the right people would get them to where they were.
Yes.
Yeah, so I said, it wasn't meant for him to be the best stepdad. He was exactly who he needed to be, so we can have this version of you.
I've never thought about it that way, man. I was always, and this is me kind of, telling the truth. I always resented him for that. I'm like, man, like you should know these things as a man. You should know what you need to teach your son. But I never looked at it that way. I'm glad that you said that.
Yeah, because how I look at it is, it's like you alter the universe. And so, like, how I remember I was watching Flash.
That's my favorite
show. Man, when I was a
show.
kid, dude, that's all I would watch.
That's crazy.
And I would watch Flash, and how I would look at it was, or how they would, portray it was, if Flash went back in time and tried to change all the things that he did wrong, he would mess up who he was in the present day. But when you sit and think about it, like even now, that's like when I said about earlier, like how you can't go back and change the past. All the things I done did wrong in life, all the mistakes I done made, I wouldn't want to change it now because I am who I'm supposed to
Yeah,
be.
it was for your good.
But if I do go back and change it, like you said, I could be a lot worse off and be somewhere that I wouldn't want to be now.
As many mistakes as I've made, I live with no regrets.
Man,
I live with none. Because I always say one thing would have changed where I am now. Might not have had 3 kids had I went on a trip to Miami where my boys went. You know what I'm saying? Because I hated traveling. I had money, but I hated traveling for some odd reason. But like I said, it just one simple decision could have changed the rest of your life. So I don't live with regrets. I just, like I said, I reflect. I let growth catch up with me, and I move forward in life. So yeah, don't regret the fact that he wasn't. It was for your benefit. For your benefit.
Definitely.
nah, that's deep.
It is. We getting into it, man. We are
Indeed.
definitely getting into it.
It's just life, man. Like I said, life has so many lessons, you know, and you won't remember them all, but they all affect you in some form or fashion.
Yes.
You know, they all affect you. So like I said, catch the ones that mean something to you and keep it pushing, man. Like I said, don't dwell on the past. Like I said, we all gonna make mistakes. We all gonna fall. You just got to get up and keep going.
Keep going. No
Like my cousin Jamal, I should say, I bounce back. He's like, no, we don't bounce back. We bounce forward. Like, damn, okay, I got you. That's it. I bounce forward then.
Yes, sir.
Bounce forward. That's it.
So to tie back into what y'all both said, so you spoke on consistency and you spoke on being present. How important is it to be present in those moments where you got to be consistent? Because I feel like you can be consistent in things that you want to do, but if you aren't physically present in that moment and like even enjoying the moment, but just being in that moment, you'll miss the things that are supposed to help you. So how important is that? And I won't answer from both of y'all if I can't get one.
So as far as, are you talking about quality versus quantity, or
Basically,
that's what you're
so like
talking
if
about?
we go into the gym and you just in there just like not lollygagging, but you just in the gym just going with the motion.
I'm glad that you brought that
yeah, go
up.
ahead.
To me, I feel like, it's days where you want to just be like, okay, I gotta go get it. I gotta make sure I'm doing this Monday through Friday. But to me, if you go in and you're not 100, you're not doing something to your 100% capability, there's no point of doing it. So if you feel like, man, I could have done this better, the next time you do it, if you did it at 80%, well, you better do it at 110%. You always have to get better with whatever you're doing. You shouldn't be doing something and just, doing it at 50%. You're not going to get better doing that. It is some days where you need to go, like, for instance, you don't want to go to the gym. It's days where you need to go to the gym. You might not have the best workout that you want to, have during that day, but you still went in and you got your workout in. But at the same time, if you are just saying, okay, I'm going to do this for 100 days, I'm going to do this for 30 days, in those 30 days, you are not giving your maximum effort, you're going to be in the same spot. You're doing this for no purpose. And I learned this. This is something that I had to learn with YouTube. Like, people would tell you to stay consistent with whatever you're doing with the content creation or whatnot. But if you are not looking at what you're doing wrong, you just keep posting videos. I had to learn this the hard way. Ain't nobody gonna watch them. You're gonna keep posting. You're gonna keep posting them, and you're gonna get the same amount of views. But if you sit back and you say, okay, I got 100 videos. One of these videos hit 100 views. Let me see what I did right in those 100 views. And that goes to the quality. If you say, okay, each video that I make, I'm gonna make it better, then you are going to see way more results. It's the same way in the gym. And this is why I had to learn. A lot of people say, oh, Tavon, you big. Like, I'm not really doing what I need to be. They just see me like, I can be doing way more.
Man,
I can be doing way more.
Room for improvement.
Exactly. It's room for improvement. So what I learned is when I go into the gym, I have to be better than what I was the last time. So I have to do more. I have to maybe change the workouts that I'm doing, whatever, but I can't just go in there and say, I'm going to do the same thing that I've always been doing. And that's with anything in life. My favorite quote, in order to get something that you never had before, you got to do something that you've never done before.
Bars.
So I'm going to say that, and I'm going to let Sam take it.
What you focus on grows. Period. So let's do weightlifting. If you go to the gym and I'm doing a chest workout today, Does your chest grow if you do back exercises?
Of course not.
What you focus on grows. I'm going in here to do chest today. I'm warming up. I'm getting under doing bench press. Bench press, I'm doing dumbbell flies. Dumbbell flies, I'm doing incline press. Incline press, I'm doing chest press. What you focus on grows. So that's where that consistency comes in at. You can't grow if you're not focused, if you're not tapped in, locked into what you need to be grow, what you need to be working on. Oftentimes people think that something is going to grow, but they don't work on it. They don't work on it. You plant the seed, you got to water the seed, you got to have the right fertilizer, you got to have the right sunlight, and you got to focus on doing the right things in order for that plant to grow. But if you're not focused on it, it's not going to grow. Same thing with social media, same thing with your business. If you're not focused on doing the right things for your business is not going to grow. If you're not focused on reading the right books, getting the right coaching, you're not going to grow. You're not going to develop personally. What you focus on grows. It's just that simple.
Yes, sir.
So when it comes to quality, like how important is that in when you say the gym or content or whatever it is, how important is quality when it comes to, like I said, being present and consistency?
Quality is good, man. And I'm at the age, I'm 20 years old. I'm sure Jason's going through the same thing. Like, I don't know if you've done this yet, but you need to tell your father, thank you. It's a lot of things that, you know, now that I moved out, I'm thinking like, man, like my grandfather was right, my mom was right, my father was right. And it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy because whenever I would clean something, whenever I would do something, I would have to, and my girl, she compliments me all the time. Like, babe, you wash these dishes so good. Man, if I didn't wash, if it was one plate in there that was dirty, my mother, it would be 2:00 in the morning. I would have to go to school the next day. She didn't care. She's throwing all the dishes in the dirty sink, and I got to rewash all of them.
Man.
So at times, it's like you look at your mother and you kind of resent her for that, but it's like, she was teaching me to do things the right way.
The first time.
Yeah, the first time. Because if you don't do it right the first time, it's going to come back and haunt you. And all those lessons that I learned from doing something as small as washing the dishes or just little things in general, I apply that to my real life now. So when I'm at work, when I'm doing something, I'm doing it to the best of my capability. And I know if I was working at Chipotle, I'm doing everything to the best of my capability. I'm the best working in there. I'm not gonna do anything because I know what the result is gonna be from there. If I come in and I say, you know what, I'm just working a job, I'm just gonna come here, do the bare minimum, do what I feel like can get by. After I leave that job, I'm not gonna do anything else. The energy that you take and you do it from something else is gonna transfer over to the rest of the things that you need to get done. So I feel like with quality, that's the biggest thing. Just do it the right way the first time and transfer your energy is going to transfer over into all areas of your life. So that's why I like to go to the gym early in the morning, because I go to the gym early in the morning. After I get from the gym, I'm working on myself. I'm better myself. I'm not going to get off from the gym and do things that are going to destroy him. You think I'm going to a party after going to the gym, after working out?
No.
So I'm already in that like high vibration of I have to better myself. So I feel like that's the biggest thing with quality, just being the best version of you, doing things at 100% and just being the best, man, to your full capability.
No, I think it's funny because you said something about it haunting you if you don't do it right. So
Yes,
what's funny,
sir.
and the reason I say it's funny is because, so my brother is like pretty much the second coming of me. So everything that my father tried to tell me when I was younger,
You
and I ain't
seen
listening,
everything.
man, he redoing it. And it's like at this age, it's kind of like, it's almost like, okay, I see what my dad was talking about.
Tearing you up.
Man, it'd be having me heated. But it's like, if you would have probably did it right then you probably wouldn't have had it. But then it's like, okay, well now I got to go back and redo it. Because it's like simple things with like when I get done using the bathroom versus when he get done. He get done, the water all over the sink, over the counter. When I get done, if it is water on the counter, I'm gonna clean it up.
Yes.
And so like, but when I was his age, I was leaving that water there for sure.
Doing it all.
And so I was like, man, now it's like I said, it's haunting me, but it almost makes you appreciate those moments.
Yes.
Appreciate like you
small
said,
little
yeah.
moments.
Like you said, telling your father and your parents thank you for ingraining that in you, because now at the age of 20 years old, you appreciate it. Okay, I'm cleaning this up. So then when I get back home later, I ain't got to worry about it being there.
Yes.
And so like it's taking the light off of you doing it later because you're doing it now. And so like even what you said, do it right the first time.
Do it right the first time.
And that definitely helps.
And do it then. Do it when you have the chance to do it. Don't put it off. Don't put it off because, like I said, it costs you later.
So give me an experience of when you put something off. And it could be recently, it could be when you was younger, and how it affected you.
Man, and I'll say something that everybody can relate to. You know how you wake up in the morning, you got to be at work at 8 o'clock. And you're like, man, I don't feel like going to work.
Man.
You miss a day of work. You start doing that every single week. That check is going to be short. You're going to look at that check.
Big facts.
You're going to wish that you took your behind to work. You're going to wish. And that's happened to me multiple times when I was younger, but I just learned to just put my feelings aside and just be like, okay, I go to work. Once I wake up, the hardest part is waking up and getting out of the bed. That is the hardest part. Once you can do that, once you can get out of the bed, everything is a breeze. You get out of bed, you brush your teeth, you get in the car, you go to work, you look up, it's time to get off. So if you just do the hard things first, your life is going to be easy. And I preach this all the time. A lot of us want our life to be easy, especially as men, man, your life is not going to be easy. I'm going to tell you that now. If you want to be a man of value, if you want to be a man of importance, you have to go through things. And you have to do the hard things first so your life can be easy. So that's something that everybody can relate to. And I always sit back and I say, what can I learn from this? And I always take any lesson that I learn from life and I apply it to every situation that I can. Me missing days of work, that can turn into me missing days from the gym. That can turn into me not doing the things that I need to get to. And you find out when you do one thing, you're going to find out that it trickles down to how you operate your whole entire life. So me now, Tavon, to this day, I turn into a competition. I'm weird like that. I'm weird like that.
Teach us, give us a life hack.
I wake up, I got to be at work at 7:30. I'm there at 6:30. I'm making sure I'm the first one there and I'm early because I see people that just in there and I'm at the point where I'm trying to elevate. I'm trying to get to the next level in my life.
That helps you stand out.
Yeah. And I see people who've been there for years. They coming in late, 8 o'clock, 7:45. They not prepared for what I'm about to do. They not prepared for how I'm about to climb the ladder. And I feel like that's a direct representation of how you operate your life. Like if you can show up to the things on time, if you can do, what you need to do every single day. Like a lot of people don't know this, but you can take a look at somebody and just see how they operate and see how their life is. Just based off of looking at their actions, looking how they behave, looking how they carry themselves.
It tells you everything.
Yes, you can see all that. So I'll say that, man.
Yeah, I say I've always taught people being early is being on time.
Yes, sir.
So I give y'all 2 life hacks for those people who struggle to get up in the morning and do what they're supposed to do. First of all, whatever your alarm system is, don't have it next to your bed. Put it across the room. Put it in the next room where you still can hear it because it forces you to get up. Then if you get up and you're still struggling, listen to something motivational. If you're going to hit the snooze. Put something on YouTube University, something motivational so you're sleeping to that. And then when that next alarm go off, you have something in your mind that's positive that can push you towards, being the best version of yourself that day.
I got 2 things to feed off that. So off the motivational, y'all better turn on some Inky Johnson.
Come on now.
Man,
That's
he
a
go-
dog.
Hey,
That's a dog.
Hey, he gonna go off. And what's crazy is, so he usually don't like cuss or curse in none of his videos. Man, he cursed in one of his videos, and it was like my first time hearing him. When I tell you I want to throw on some shoulder pads and run through a wall, man, I was like, he
a bad
different.
boy.
And then to the second thing I would say is create a routine. So for me, my routine every morning is the same way. Now, I don't wake up at the same time because I have to, me being at work fluctuates, but I do want to get on a consistent basis to when I want to wake up. But my routine, like I said, stays the same as far as the first thing I do, get up, use bathroom, then come back, put my clothes on, then go clean up and freshen up. As long as me and Levi don't wake up at the same time. Because Levi, he likes to use that bathroom for a minute. Man. But other than that, it's like I create that routine to where now I know this, like you said, the hard part is getting up. But after that, after I got all my clothes on, I'm downstairs eating. Okay, let's make work happen. Then what and this is like a strong dislike that I have, and I even used to be like this, but when people work a job and they can't find the beauty in it. And like I said, I used to be like that. Like, I do plumbing. Did I like it at first? No. But I've learned to find the beauty in it. I've learned to how to, it's almost like a mindset shift to where you take the bad and what you think is the hard, the bad in it, and you create a beauty or something good out of it. So I don't let things of when somebody reacts wrong bother me, or how people deal with other people. I don't let that bother me. Because at the end of the day, if I let that bother me here at work, it's going to bother me at home.
Facts.
And why would you want to mix up how you feel your feelings from work at home? So then that's when it's almost like I said, it's a mindset shift to where you got to switch those things. Okay, this went wrong today at work, but why did it go wrong? Okay, what can I do to fix it the next time or tomorrow? My day-to-day life for work changes every day. One day I might be in a commercial building fixing a pipe under a sink. The next day I might be in somebody's house fixing a toilet. So it changes every day. But how I look at those jobs, it almost is, you have to, go back and reevaluate. Okay, so I remember one time I was in a commercial building and I was tightening the toilet down, tightening the bolt, tightened it. I barely tightened it some more, toilet cracks. And so at that time, like, when I tell you my mental at that time was so beat, I was like, bro, I just cracked this toilet. Like, and that's my thing, is like, I won't say I'm a perfectionist, but if something goes wrong, I know like money has to be spent to fix it. So now instead of the company paying you to fix that, your company's basically almost paying them.
Paying double now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was like, man, it's just, I messed this up. And the other service tech I was with, he was like, man, it's cool, bro. Stuff happens. It's cool. Like, just if you fix it, you know what to do right now, then just fix it. Boom. So it's like, after that, it's like, okay, let me go back here and fix it. But it's almost, and when I say like, you genuinely have to switch your mindset to be able to find it ain't got to be positive, but just learn from everything and stop letting it affect you deeply.
That's powerful,
Then
man.
your life would be a whole lot better.
Yeah, it's powerful. Knowing that you have to have a mindset shift to deal with certain situations. That's powerful.
I want to piggyback off of what Jason said before I forget. I've been trying to get my girl, and she's done a way better job. So I want to give a shout out to her. But I know both of y'all notice when you have a negative person around you, negative people, they look at things with a negative mindset. That is gonna brush off on you.
Facts.
So I try so hard to get her to just look at things in a positive light. Like, for instance, we were at the store and she was trying to get something, they didn't have it. Oh, I drove all the way over here. I wasted my gas. I'm like, babe, calm down, calm. And it's like, you can coach yourself through situations if you have the right mindset. Like you said,
for sure.
If you have a positive mindset, and no matter what happens in your life, you say, I'm gonna overcome this. I'm gonna figure out a way to learn from this. You're gonna have a whole different approach on life. You can just look at a person and just tell like they are a very negative, nasty person. And one thing I would say about this, because, I told Jason a little bit about this, but when I was living with my mother, I had a very toxic relationship with her, and she was negative. That caused me, without even knowing it, I'm living in the house with her for all these years. I'm going out. My energy is off.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here trying to worry about, okay, why don't I have friends? Why isn't nobody talking to me? Bro, you got negative energy.
Yeah, your vibration is off.
Exactly.
Yeah, you are vibrating on a low plane.
Exactly. So if you just, take the time to really work on yourself, positive thoughts, positive affirmations, you're going to find yourself with like-minded people, and you're going to find yourself, just having a better life in general.
Yeah. And even, it's like I said, it's being present in those moments. So I remember, to kind of piggyback off that story, but almost like, again, the mindset shift. So Inky Johnson was speaking on somebody who was supposed to be in the building when 9/11 happened, so in the Twin Towers. But, especially in New York, it's not often that somebody's late for work because traffic is just terrible. So that person was late for work. They were upset. They're on the road driving, trying to just figure out how they finna get to work on time.
Probably cussing people out.
Exactly. Then figure out, in time being, that the planes didn't hit the building that you were supposed to be in. And so now you almost like switch your perspective, like, man, that could have been me. But for some reason, I was running late this morning. So even when traffic backs up here in Indianapolis, okay, let me not get mad. Yeah, let me keep my cool, because I'm somewhere where I'm supposed to be. Because who knows if I would be at my destination or even close to my destination where I'm supposed to be on time, what could happen?
Yeah, oftentimes I've been in the stores and maybe the line is long. People be in line complaining. I get up to the cash register. I would tell the cash register, hey, don't worry, just keep doing your job. I like, thank you for being patient. Patience is a virtue. I was like, because you just never know that me being held up in line could have kept me from a car accident or anything. So people always, not people always, but oftentimes people who don't have the right mindset, they'll find the littlest things and just make them into a hailstorm. You know what they call it, making turn a molehill into a mountain. You know, when it's really just something simple. Just be patient, take your time. It's not that bad. But like I said, when you vibrate on a low plane, you've had childhood trauma, and you just so used to just being negative that you just don't realize how much it not only affects your life, but it affects all of those around you.
And I want to piggyback off of that because this is very important. This is something that I had to learn in my life. A lot of people want to play victim. A lot of people want to have this negative mindset. You are only going to attract what's in here. So if you have a negative mindset, trust and believe me, I've been through this. You are only going to attract negative things in your life. I found that when I'm going through something that's negative or I think is negative and I'm just thinking about it the wrong way, something else happens. I don't know how this happens, but when I'm in that vibration, just thinking about everything and I'm just nervous or whatever, something tends to go wrong. But if I'm thinking about things in a positive way, it's been situations where I didn't know how I was going to get out of it, but I'm just saying, man, I'm cool. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get through this. I get through it. I get through it because I have a positive mindset. I also got God on my side, but it's just when you have that positive mindset, you're going to be amazed of the things that you attract into your life and the things that you can do. It's just crazy how your mindset, changing your mindset will just change your whole entire life.
Yeah, and with positivity and a positive mindset, I think it comes with almost being present. So like you said, when you rushing or you just thinking about how you gonna figure this out, I know for one, I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm terrible under pressure. Like if I feel like it's too much on me or too much on my plate, then it's probably, I won't say it's gonna go wrong, but it's not gonna go how I want it to go. And so like you said, something's going to go wrong at that point. And so there's times where I need to, sit there, be present. Okay, pay attention to what it is I'm doing, what I'm trying to accomplish, and take my time with it, then it'll go right. But if I'm sitting here trying to rush, trying to do it, then it's like, it's not going to go right because you wasn't rush or you were rushing and you weren't present in that moment.
And as men, like we have to fall in love with challenges. Like we have to see an obstacle. And it's crazy because like I'm a very competitive person. This is the type of person I am. And I thank God that I have this ingrained in me because a lot of people don't. Like they can have an obstacle, they can have a challenge that comes into their life and they're scared of it. I feel like if you want to be a successful person, you have, because you're a saying is more money, more problems. If you don't know how to problem solve and how to, deal with challenges and obstacles when they present itself, then you get what you deserve. You get what you deserve. A lot of people at work, they say, oh, I don't want to be the manager. I don't want to do this. It's too stressful. I have to deal with people. To me hearing that is crazy because you're not going to get into the position that you want, the level that you want to achieve in life, if you're not willing to deal with more things, if you're not willing to deal with more problems.
Right.
Like you get with what you worth. You get what you worth in this life. That's what it is, man. You have to fall in love with overcoming challenges.
John Maxwell, I believe, says the best. He put on a tweet or threads. He said, "Embrace the obstacles."
Yes,
so, like
sir.
you said, when people get these obstacles, they tend to get scared. They tend to stop and just let it and soak in. Why would you stop in the middle of a storm?
Say that again.
Why would you stop in the middle of the storm?
Look at the camera and say that,
the main
bro.
goal
Say that
is to
again.
get out of the storm. So why would you stop in the middle of it? So
Man.
here's my thing is, like you said, you get these obstacles, find a way to get through it.
Yes.
You're not going to get through it on day one. Just like how if you start something new today, you're not going to be perfect on it. But the day you figure out, okay, boom, let me figure out a way how to get through this obstacle, then you're going to get out of it. You just are, because you're going to find a way and keep working and push towards getting out of that obstacle, getting out of that storm, finding a way to become perfect in that craft that you're trying to do. and it will happen.
Yes.
Yeah. Obstacles, they build character.
Yes.
You know, you go through, we all go through things in life, you know, but when you sit in it, you soak in it, and you do it alone, then yeah, it can be hard. But when you don't reach out to people that can help you get from point A to point B, that can help you shift your mindset, yeah, it's always going to seem bad. You know, isolation leads to devastation. You know, when you isolate yourself and sit in those moments and continue to pout, yeah, it's gonna be rough. So sometimes you gotta share the losses that you had with someone so they can help guide you and get you through it. But like I said, people just it's a mindset thing, man. It's a mindset thing. The biggest battlefield we got is in our mind. You know, it's a daily war going on in our head.
Daily, every
Daily.
day.
It will never end. Even the most successful people, the happiest people in the world, something in their mind every day is going to pop in their mind. It's going to challenge them. They just have learned to overcome their mind. Positive mindset, growth mindset is something that you have to have in order to be successful, in order to have the best life for yourself.
So to get back on consistency before we end it, what is some of the results or some of your biggest accomplishments that being consistent and present has brought you?
I'll say this as far as, because I've been doing content for a minute, man. And it's times where it's very discouraging. You just think you're doing all of this work for no reason. But I came to the realization, if you just stay consistent and if you just stay with what you're doing, you're going to see the results that you want. For one instance, man, I didn't know how to grow on TikTok. I'm looking up videos, how to grow on TikTok, how to get more views. And I realized, man, I'm only posting like one video. I post one video a week, and then I'm gone from it. I look back, only got like 200, 300 views. But I just sat to myself, I said, you know what? I'm going to have a game plan. I'm going to execute it, and I'm going to be consistent with it. Results. Just based off of being consistent.
Say those three things again. They might have missed that.
Ooh.
For the people in the cheap seats.
Accountability.
No, what you just said.
about?
You said you had a game plan, you executed.
I had a game plan, I executed, and I stayed consistent. That's the biggest things. If you do those things with anything in life, man, you are going to get ahead and you're going to achieve the things that you want to achieve. You just have to know really what it is. And this is what I'm learning across the way on my journey is you have to do the work, and the path is going to reveal itself.
Ooh.
The path is going to reveal it. When you don't put that one foot in front of each other, bro, you are never going to get to the destination that you want to get to. So everybody wants to be perfect. Everybody wants to, look good to other people. You're not going to look good to everybody, man. Not everybody's going to mess with what you're doing. Not everybody's going to be on board with what you're doing. But if you just say, this is my game plan, this is my vision, and this is how I'm going to execute it, man, you gonna look up and you're going to be like, man, I done put in some work. I done put in some work. And that's what I realized, man. I'm very, sometimes when I tell my girl this, like, I'll just be moving, and I don't really take the time to really acknowledge the things that I did. And I feel like sometimes that discourages me when I don't look back and say, man, I'm proud of myself. This is what I did. This is what I achieved. And I feel like as men, all of us, we need to do that. Like the little things that we do in life, man, we need to, acknowledge those things. And it is important to have people in your corner like Jason. Jason is a really good friend, man. You raised this man to, I'm going to give you your prize, man.
Appreciate that, sir.
You raised him to be
Appreciate
a man. And I salute you for that.
Thank you.
But you need people in your corner that's going to, hype you up in a way. That's going to say, man, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the things that you're doing. I don't really get that a lot. Jason said that in the parking lot one day. We was leaving from the gym. I said, bro, what did you say, man? And I said, I appreciate you, man, because as men, we need that. We need somebody to say, man, I'm proud of you. Keep going. Because that person that you just told that to, they might be thinking they ain't doing nothing.
Facts.
They might be thinking, man, this ain't going nowhere. I'm not seeing no results. And then you get that one person that be like, man, I see what you're doing, Tavon. Keep going.
Man,
Just like that.
Take off.
Just like that.
Hey.
That's all you need.
No, that's
Hop in the
facts,
G4
bro.
Challenger.
Man,
Hey, hey.
that's facts. Cause like anytime I get a compliment, like it really mean the most when it's like it's people who either in the same boat as you or who grinding with you. But like even then, like if they ain't tell you, but you just out and about one day and somebody like, hey, I know you. I see what you doing. It's like, dang, for real? Like it almost make you feel like not I don't really want to say that it's not a celebrity status, but it make you feel like you doing something right and like you're I don't know, you're just on the right path pretty much. But at the end of the day, like I still know I'm human. So it's like people still see me. Cause like when you do this, like the content, the trying to bring value to people's life, it's almost like you're not moving as a robot, but it's kind of hard to really put into words or like just feel like, okay, it's okay for me to have feelings. Like you almost like, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but
I see what you're saying.
but when you get those like those compliments or people just really like letting you know, like, I see you, bro, like you doing what you're supposed to be doing, it almost brings you back down to earth and it's like, yeah, man, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed.
And so that's that with that. But get the people where they can find you at, bro. Pretty much you know what to do, man.
Man, Tavon Williamson, just look me up, man. Y'all can find me. If you enjoy this, man, make sure y'all tap in to what they got going on. They doing their thing. Shoot, man, y'all posting us on YouTube?
Oh, of course.
Definitely.
Man, make sure y'all like this video. Make sure that you leave a comment if any of us gave y'all any value, any knowledge, man. Share this video to anybody who needs it, man. And this was a good one, man. I'm excited. I could have did this all day, honestly.
Facts.
I
Facts.
did this all
You
day.
got to figure something out.
No, for sure.
You got anything you gonna say before I close it out?
No, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate you for coming on with us, brother. We're going to do this
sir.
again, man. Definitely drop some gems today, and I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
You have not because you ask not. So desires everything was started with the concept of the things that you want, that burning passion that you have in your heart. It's your everything. It starts with a want to be better. I realized after bumping my head for years that I was bumping my head because I wasn't tapped into personal development and I wasn't living a purposeful life. Started the company, started with a t-shirt, started posting videos. Then my son come along and now here we are impacting lives, right? There's somebody out there watching right now who know that they need help, whatever you believe in, God, the universe, quasars, whatever you believe in, you haven't asked for that higher being to help you out. Then you haven't reached out to those who know you can that will help impact your life. You got 3 people here that are willing to help. Got our brother Bass back there willing to help. You have not because you ask not. So if you are listening to this message and you know that you need help to become the best version of you, reach out to us. You got 2 20-year-old men here that are all about personal development. You got me, the old head, the OG, that's all about personal development. We were all created to serve, and we will all love the opportunity to serve you. You can reach us all on social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, you name it, you can find us there. But if you want the help, you got to ask for it. This has been another episode of Desires Everything Podcast, episode 25.
25.
2-5.
And y'all know how we ended out on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Die. Man, y'all left me out. I didn't know. I just had to wait for y'all to say it.
You did good.
That was good, man.
Yes.